Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
We're going to get to your calls here in a few minutes. Jimmy is with me. He's a caller from Millbrook, Alabama, listening on WIQR 1410, our great affiliate down there in Prattville/Montgomery area. And last week, he talked about the lack of real dialogue, especially on race and how America has changed. Jimmy, I want to know and Jimmy is 83-year-old white American, what will you say to blacks today?
About what?
The race issue. What advice would you give them? About everything.
Obey the law and be a good, decent human being.
Obey the law and be a good, decent human being.
Yeah.
And how about white folks?
Same thing.
How do we solve what's happening right now?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I wish I did.
Last week you said that...
Well, when I said there's nobody to talk to, that's what I said.
Right.
And what I mean by that, in Montgomery, Alabama, all I know is Montgomery, Alabama. I don't know L.A. or Denver, Colorado. There's nobody, not a single person that I know of, in the city of Montgomery, Alabama, where the state capital, the state legislature is housed, not one of those people would allow you to say one word about anything to them in public. They won't do it. They will not discuss an issue.
Yeah.
We have radio stations here in Montgomery that some of those, in my opinion, ought to be put in jail for their lack of good citizenship.
Yep, I know what you mean.
They're egomaniacs. We got one boy here that you talked to. It ought to be in jail for his egotism alone. I'm serious.
Jimmy,
He's never said one word about leadership, never said one word about being a good, decent human being. None of that. It's all about him. It's all about him.
You said last week, the black community lacked a real woman who would not allow her children to be criminals.
That's right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, just what you said. I remember what my mother said when I was 6 years old, and it stuck with me my entire life. I had two older brothers, 2 years apart. And I was 6 and the other 8 and 10. And we aggravated the situation, and she got out the switches and started switching us pretty good.
Yeah.
We were naked. What? We were naked trying to take a bath in a old wash tub, all three of us.
Yeah.
And we got into a little, you know how children do.
Yes.
Boys. And I remember she come out there with that switch, and it's lasted me this long. She said, I will not allow my children to be a heathen.
Yeah, I used to hear the same things.
And I got my own personality, but I'm not a heathen.
There you go. You said this not last week, but before. You also said blacks don't cherish their women and children. What's the solution to that?
I don't know, Jesse. I wish I was smart enough to tell people what to do, but I only know what I see. They have not been trained. Now, the hand that rocks the cradle does indeed rock the world. And the hands that's been rocking the cradles of these black children are just they're incompetent. They don't know how to be mothers. They never learn to be mothers. The boys never learn to be men. They never learn to be fathers and brothers and good citizens. And nobody is teaching them. And the preachers here in Montgomery, when I see a preacher, a black preacher in particular, with a big, fat gold watch and a big, fat diamond ring and then $1,000 shoes, I hate to say it, but I wish I had a baseball bat. He's the biggest atheist con artist in the world. You don't wear diamond rings as a preacher when there are children suffering from lack of food and lack of discipline and lack of love.
I was looking
No decent human being would do that.
Speaking of black mothers, I was looking at Michael Brown's mother. She got her hair dyed blonde. I guess they're blonde. She wearing tight clothes. She looked like she's trying to be a teenage girl rather than an adult mother.
Never grew up.
Yeah, never. And I see that a lot with black women today. It's amazing. They have no sense of self-control or class. And not all, of course, but most of them. They want to act as young as their children.
Well, there's one word missing from the black community, and I've got on them out there at Alabama. They offered me a job at Alabama State University a long time ago, and I've just decided I wouldn't be associated with them dumb people like they are out there. And they have no standards.
Yeah.
No academic standards for their students. They tell them in advance, we don't care if you graduate or not.
Amazing.
And nobody, here's why I say there's nobody to talk to. There's nobody in Montgomery to go out there and talk to them about the governor of Alabama won't talk to them.
And why won't they talk to them, Jimmy?
They're scared to death.
Of what?
Of the mean old black people.
Do you think parents should be punished for criminal children?
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. When I become president, that's going to be the number 9 law that I bring into effect. Parents will be punished for the crimes that their children commit.
Well, the worst crime of all, Jesse, there's 2 crimes involved here. The worst crime is the high school children, girls. 80%, 800 out of 1,000. 80% don't sound much, but when you put it in big numbers, you can see how big it is. And some of these schools out here hold 1,500 and more students. Will be pregnant at least once before they get out of high school.
That's amazing.
It's a travesty.
It is, yeah. I agree.
It's destroying the fabric of the black community.
And
there's no morality.
And white people are so quiet on this issue. That's what's so mind-blowing to me.
You know why?
Why?
They don't give a damn.
Oh.
That's what I see. They don't care. You know the worst punishment in the world, Jesse?
What's that?
Indifference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And people to ignore you.
We're going to take some calls, Jimmy, right after this break.
I'm looking.
888-775-3773. Back in a moment.